What's going on, guys? WingsOfEnd here and welcome back to another Redstone tutorial. And today, guys, I'm gonna be showing you how to make this really cool and simple automated melon farm in Minecraft Bedrock edition. So if you guys are excited for that, make sure to drop a like down below and subscribe if you're new. And without further ado, let's get right into today's video. For those of you that remember, this is pretty much the same design I used for the pumpkin farm, but I'm going to show you how it works nonetheless. I just left this with the glass over here. What you want to do is actually cover this up with the full blocks, because when we're using glass, it's just a little bit easier for you guys to see, but when you use it, sometimes the melons can actually kinda pass through this little corner over here and up outside of the actual farm. But what you want to use is the actual full blocks. Again, I'm just doing this so you guys can get an idea a little bit better. What we have is just a row of the pumpkin seeds over here that are fully grown, and we have another block for the actual melons to grow. What you can do with this is expand it as long as you want, or you can just kinda make these little segments and stack them on top of each other, but the reason for this is really simple. Pretty much what's gonna happen is the melons are going to grow over here. Once the final one grows in front of the observer is going to detect that and set the signal to the pistons, which are going to pretty much harvest them. You can see what I mean. If you use the glass, sometimes some melons can get outside, but if you use full blocks, that's not going to be a problem. But pretty much what happens is the observer is going to detect that the pistons are going to fire, and these little two repeaters are pretty much to separate the signal, meaning that all the little pistons are not going to go in the loop because the observer can actually detect the extension and retraction of this piston, and using a little repeater that's going to block this one, it's pretty much going to ensure that our pistons are just going to fire once and they're going to retract, and the observer is then going to lock this repeater, meaning that they're just going to stand in the actual position without any power and waiting for the next melon to actually grow. What we have underneath is just a little collection system. So underneath we only have a little minecart with a hopper that's going in a loop, pretty much covering every single space over here where the melons can actually potentially end up in. So it's just covering the dirt blocks, and every single melon piece is gonna get collected by it. Then it's just going to go into loop, eventually getting to these hoppers, and they're going to empty the melons up over here. Of course, you can probably make a more advanced system for the storage. This is just like a one I'm gonna be showing for the tutorial. And if you want to kinda empty the actual cart a little bit faster, you can turn all of these blocks into actual hoppers. They're just going to make it a little bit faster. But again, for the tutorial, this is just a really simple way for me to actually put in a collection system. So you can see the reason for this is actually really simple, and I'm going to show you how to make it right now. So for the first layer, we're going to need 16 pieces of grass blocks or dirt. It doesn't matter what you're going to use. We're going to need 8 pistons, a wooden hoe or any other type of the hoe. We're going to need 8 melon seeds, some bone meal to just kind of speed up the process of the actual melon seeds. We're going to need a bunch of glass. Of course, you want to use full blocks, that way no melons can actually escape. But again, I'm going to be using glass to make it a little bit easier for you guys to see. We're going to need 1 observer, 2 repeaters, and 14 redstone dust. So the first thing you want to do is pretty much decide where you want to have your dirt. We are just going to make a little 8 block stretch, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. We're going to do the same thing on this side over here. This is where you need to decide where you actually want to have your melons growing. We're going to have them grow on this part, so we're just going to hoe the other part of the actual grass. And what you're going to do is just put in the melon seeds over here. And you don't have to worry about watering these because you don't really need the water once the melon seeds actually grow. The dirt is not going to be able to convert back, so you are pretty much safe, and it definitely reduces the risk of water meeting some redstone, which is never a good thing. After that, you are going to grab yourself the pistons, and we want to have 8 pistons facing towards the actual stem of the melons. You're going to place them over here. The pistons are actually going to be what's going to be breaking the melons, so you are going to end up with a really nice bunch of them. Again, you probably want to make this a lot larger because this little farm is going to produce some melons, but it's definitely not going to produce like a crazy amount. After this, we're just going to put in our little observer over here. It's just going to be detecting this first melon over here, and it's going to be activating every single piston. But after you have done this, what you want to do is grab yourself some block of your choice. Make sure it's actually a full block, that way no melons can actually escape. But again, I'm just gonna be using some glass blocks, that way you guys can see this a little bit better. To cover the whole area with the blocks, you're going to need 27 of them, and after this we just want to put in our redstone. And for that, we're going to use some blocks of your choice, making a 2x3 platform behind the observer and having couple blocks leading towards the pistons. After that, grab yourself 4 pieces of redstone dust and place them like so. These 2 spots are reserved for the actual repeaters, which are going to make all pistons only fire once, and they're not going to let the observer pretty much detect the extension and the retraction part of the actual piston, which is going to create an endless loop. So we're going to have one repeater on 2 ticks delay and another one going over here towards the pistons without any delay. You can pretty much put in the actual redstone on top of the actual pistons. You're pretty much done for the redstone part. And now for the actual collection system, you're going to need 1 double chest, 2 hoppers, 1 micro hopper, you're going to need 4 normal rails and 12 of the powered rails and 2 levers. What we want to do is just go 1 block below the actual dirt, and pretty much make a little platform that's the same size and the length as the dirt above it. So we're just going to carry your blocks just like so to the end. And after that you want to decide where you actually want to have like your little storage system. We're just going to have the collection system in terms of the actual farm for the double chest. We're going to lead a couple of the hoppers right into it. After that, you can just make a little loop for the actual minecart with the hopper to kinda go around in. We're going to have 2 of the normal rails over here in the corners. That way we can actually create that loop. We're going to have 6 of the actual power rails on either side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And do the same on the other side. We're just going to power them with a bunch of levers. Place one on this side and another one on the other, and just grab yourself the actual micro hopper, place it and just kinda nudge it to pretty much start the loop, and just going to go around endlessly, and you're pretty much done as far as the farm goes. So if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like down below and subscribe if you're new. If you think any of your friends would enjoy this type of content, make sure to share with them. But as always, I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, take care, have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.